It's October 4th, 1957. You're relaxing in your living room, maybe watching I Love Lucy or listening to Perry Como on the radio. Then the show is interrupted by breaking news. The Soviet Union has launched the first satellite into space. Its name Sputnik 1. Its payload just 184 pounds. Its message loud and clear. The future had arrived and it spoke Russian. What followed wasn't just a political panic, it was a cultural explosion. From furniture to fashion, toys to teen dances, a single metallic orb reshaped how Americans lived, loved, and played. Sputnik hit like a thunderclap. America had prided itself on being the world's tech leader, but now a Soviet satellite was flying over their homes every 96 minutes. It wasn't just about rockets, it was about fear. Fear of being outpaced, fear of nuclear war, fear that the future might belong to someone else. Switchboards lit up, hardware stores sold out of Geiger counters, schools ran air raid drills, even TV reception was blamed on space ghosts. And yet, amid the fear, something strange happened. Americans turned anxiety into creativity. Enter the atomic age aesthetic, better known as Googie design. Inspired by rockets, satellites, and sci-fi, American homes started to look like it belonged on the Jetsons. Chair legs flared like rocket fins. Lamps became radar dishes. Tables took on boomerang shapes. Want a space-age vacuum cleaner? No problem. Even salt and pepper shakers came with atomic flair. Television joined the mission. Shows like Captain Video, Space Cadet, and Rocky Jones turned the Cold War into a cosmic soap opera. And ads? They went orbital. Within weeks of Sputnik's launch, American toy makers pivoted faster than a rocket on re-entry. Ray guns, robot toys, and rocket kits filled store shelves. But toys weren't just play, they were therapy. Kids reenacted space battles instead of duck and cover drills. They turned fear into fun. Toy companies like Remco and Ideal cashed in big. Even cereal companies got in on the action. Psychologists even noticed that kids who played with space toys showed less anxiety about nuclear war. Sputnik didn't just change what Americans bought, it changed how they moved, how they danced. Rock and roll went interstellar. Songs like Flying Saucer Rock and Roll and Satellite Baby lit up the jukeboxes. Doo-wop groups added beeps, zaps, and echo effects to mimic space transmissions. High school sock hops got a makeover with Moonlight Over Mars themes, complete with cardboard rockets and glowing planets. Even dances like the Martian Hop bounced with zero-gravity moves. But this explosion of futuristic fashion, furniture, and fun wasn't happening in a vacuum. Behind the chrome and cat-eye sunglasses, Uncle Sam was paying close attention. Because in a culture war, winning hearts could be just as important as winning space. The US government wasn't just watching Sputnik, they were racing it. In 1958, the National Defense Education Act poured money into schools. Science labs, rocketry clubs, and new textbooks showed up overnight. Walt Disney even aired Man in Space with help from the German rocket scientist Werner von Braun. Being a science nerd suddenly became patriotic. From sleek cars with tail fins to silver lame dresses, the 1950s embraced the future with flair. Speaking of dresses, designers like Pierre Cardin imagined clothing for a Jetson-style tomorrow. Metallic fabrics, astronaut-inspired helmets, and angular cuts defined space couture. Even sunglasses looked like gear for Venus vacations. And yes, that Sputnik chandelier hanging over your grandma's dining table? It's inspired directly by the satellite's shape. Let's step back to the government for a moment. They didn't just push science, they used culture as a Cold War weapon. They sponsored comic books, sci-fi school films, and exhibitions like Atoms for Peace in shopping malls. Kids were invited to build model rockets for the nation. And here's the kicker. In 1958, you could actually buy a silver Sputnik Halloween costume, blinking and proudly labeled Made in the USA. Cultural appropriation turned into patriotic branding. Sputnik's beep wasn't just a sound, it was a spark. It transformed fear into fashion, panic into pop culture, and competition into creativity. Today, you can still see its legacy in our tech, our design, and our obsession with the stars. All thanks to one little satellite, beeping across the sky. If you're fascinated by how yesterday's fears became today's treasures, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I dig deep into the stories behind the stuff that shaped our world, and trust me, there are more surprises where this came from. What other cultural phenomena do you think deserve the deep dive treatment? Drop your suggestions in the comments, I'll read every single one.